Hi guys, final season's over. I'm back. Also, let's welcome back the skincare content because I have to admit I kind of put it off. I wasn't enjoying it that much anymore, but now let's all be ready for some more skincare content, okay? Because I just want to put out videos that I enjoy making so that you guys see it, you know. This video is partly sponsored by ZitSticka, so thank you and shout out to them for partnering with me, and also thank you guys in advance for your understanding and for being open to my partnerships, because that's my first paid collab ever. Like, I already celebrated it with champagne, but this was such a big achievement for me. I've been doing YouTube for a year, and a year after I'm doing my first paid collab, so yeah, it was a long ride, but we're finally getting there, okay? I, oily and acne-prone skin, wanted to find a sunscreen that would kind of help my acne, because I tend to break out sometimes still, even though I'm 23. I still have breakouts here and there around the time of the month. Mine usually appear on my chin or cheeks. These are usually common places for zits to appear when they're period related. I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon to half a teaspoon for all the sunscreens that I'm going to show you, because basically what we recommend you to use, the amount is around a half a teaspoon to a 1/4 teaspoon, depending on if the sunscreen is really going to leave a white cast or not. So I'm testing both amounts for each sunscreens, just so you have comparisons of how it looks when there is like a whole lot, meaning half a sunscreen, or just a little bit less, meaning a 1/4 sunscreen, a 1/4 teaspoon. Did I say half a sunscreen? I meant half a teaspoon. Also, these are just for the ones that are fluids, meaning liquids, but for the ones that have a cream texture, I'm doing the finger technique. So 2 fingers is basically what I use every day, but also it's also recommended to use between 2 to 3 fingers. So I'm doing the 2 fingers, pausing, showing you how it looks, and then 3 fingers so you can see how it looks if you're really opting for the maximum protection. Basically better, you know, we should all be wearing as much sunscreen as we can. So I'm just showing you, you know, doing the test, you know, the half teaspoon test and the 3 finger test to show really how it looks and how there is no white cast. So I wanted to find some sunscreens that could potentially treat my acne, and I found one. So first of all, let's start with the ZitSticka Mega Shade Sunscreen. And that's the one that's directly targeting breakouts. It contains both mineral and physical UV filters. So that's what we call basically a hybrid sunscreen. It has a broad spectrum protection. So basically it protects you from UVAs and UVBs. Basically the A is for aging and the B is for burning. We love that. That's kind of an essential, but still very important to know, because some sunscreens only protect you from one certain type of UV rays. And it's also SPF 50, which I love, and I always recommend to all my audience, my subscribers, my friends. I always recommend them to get SPF 50 minimum. What I love is that it contains zinc oxide, and that's a really key ingredient to fight acne. And it also contains nice ingredients like niacinamide, tea tree, oatmeal, and also aloe vera to reduce the redness and inflammation in your skin. Also, of course, very important to highlight, this sunscreen is non-comedogenic, which means it won't clog your pores and it won't create new breakouts. The sunscreen leaves you hydrated and dewy and really like glowing and shining, you know what I'm saying? I'm way more looking into that kind of finish than a matte finish. Even though I have oily skin, that's just my preference. Mega Shade offers that look because it has ceramides and hyaluronic acid, which both bring moisture to the skin, hydrate it, and make sure it stays plump and replenished and young looking, even to the point where it can rebuild a damaged barrier. How great is that? What I also love about this sunscreen is that it's a whole skincare formulation for a sunscreen, you know? So even if you don't have serums in your morning routine, you're good, because this is basically packed with nice ingredients, as I mentioned before, but it also has vitamin C derived from Kakadu plum. Vitamin C is beautiful when paired with a sunscreen, first of all, but here it's in a sunscreen, so it's like you don't even have to do a mixture, they're doing it for you. And that's good because I ran out of my vitamin C serum, so at least now I have vitamin C in this sunscreen. That's great. Also, it contains ferulic acid. Ferulic acid is fighting signs of aging, like fine lines, wrinkles. Vitamin C also does that because they're both antioxidants. So we love to be pampered even in the sunscreen step. It's literally a treatment step. Other things that might be good to know and to note is that this sunscreen is vegan. The packaging is glass, so that's really eco-friendly and sustainable. I love that. It's not tested on animals. It's fragrance-free, and it's so dewy that it's making a beautiful primer for your makeup. So as you can see, the ZitSticka Mega Shake doesn't have any white cast, girl. And of course, if you're interested in that sunscreen, use my code Laura for 15% off. That will be in the description box below. Next one I'm going to talk about is my OG La Roche-Posay Antelios SPF 50+ Invisible Fluid. Yes, I know the name by heart. Don't even ask me. I've been using it for a whole year. Basically, it was my holy grail. My best sunscreen of all time because I hadn't found any better sunscreen for me. Any sunscreen basically that didn't leave a white cast. All the other sunscreens I tried were leaving a huge, ridiculous white cast, or there was one that I really liked. It was the former Purito Sunscreen that basically got discontinued because of the backlash they faced. I have a video on that if you're interested. So I was just left with like just one sunscreen. That was kind of boring. I wanted to try many new, as I said in the intro. I wanted to just make it a point to find other options. Okay, now I have, and I'm sharing it to you. The options, you know it. You know this sunscreen. I've mentioned it quite a few times already. Basically, it's the one I've been recommending to everyone because it's really good for everyone, for every skin type. It's good for sensitive skins. Basically, that's the one I go back to when I don't want to have any active ingredients in my sunscreen. I just want to have the protection, the SPF, you know, first function of a sunscreen. That's when I go back to La Roche-Posay Antelios. It's non-comedogenic, no fragrance. It's broad spectrum, protects you from UVAs and UVBs. It's of course invisible because I wouldn't call it my holy grail if it was living a white cast. Like, come on. It's sweat resistant, water resistant, and also it calls itself respectful of the marine life. So I guess reef safe. And the thing I like, as I said, is that it's really just a simple sunscreen. It doesn't irritate your skin. It's doing what it needs to do and nothing more, and that's what we like it for. Okay. What was that? Okay, third on my list, we got the new Purito Sunscreen, which I also love. Okay, it's called the Daily Go-To Sunscreen. It's just Purito just really does it when it comes to sunscreens. It's basically the same texture, the same feeling that we had with the previous one. It's just that now they really tested it and made sure it was really SPF 50+, and it even has PA++++, I think. So it's really like they made sure the protection was irreproachable, okay? This is a very quick application. It absorbs so quickly, and basically that's one I think I go to when I really don't want to go. I don't have time. I have less than 5 minutes to do my skincare and makeup. I'm gonna reach for the Purito sunscreen. Okay, just so you know. So it is broad spectrum as well, SPF 50+, as I mentioned. It's not fragranced, and this one is 60 milliliters compared to the other ones that I'm gonna mention, or that I mentioned, that are 50 milliliters. So you're getting more for maybe even cheaper. It's reef safe and hypoallergenic. It's also a hybrid sunscreen. There's of course no white cast, and it leaves your skin so hydrated, so gooey, so dewy. I think it's the dewiest you can get with a sunscreen. It's so moisturizing that honestly, when I'm really in a rush, I'm not even gonna use a moisturizer. It does the job really. Well, I don't recommend you to skip your moisturizer, but if you really don't have time, it's an option. Also, it contains Centella asiatica. That's an ingredient that's known in the skincare community, especially in the Korean skincare world, because this ingredient is so good for soothing and calming redness and inflammation. And the fact that there is that kind of ingredient in the sunscreen, we really stand. It doesn't pile up with skincare products that you put underneath. However, I could say that sometimes when you really put the appropriate amount, it can make you look really glowing, and sometimes even too glowing. So if you don't like that kind of look, maybe it's not the one for you, but I find that it doesn't feel like heavy or uncomfortable on your skin anyway. Even if it's looking really dewy, it doesn't feel greasy, you know what I'm saying? All right, moving on to the Bioderma AR BB Cream SPF 30. I don't know the name. Sensibio. This one is a little different because of three things. First of all, it's a tinted sunscreen. I would even say it's not even a sunscreen in the first place. It's meant to be a BB cream. Second of all, it has only a SPF 30 compared to the other ones that have SPF 50 or SPF 50 plus. And third, it's 40 milliliters product packaging compared to the other ones that are 50 or 60 for the Purito one. But does it do the job? Yeah, I totally believe. I love the product, honestly. I have personally the light tint, so it's a little darker than my complexion. I'm wearing it now, okay? Of course, I have a little bronzer and some blush, but I'm wearing it now. As I said, it's a little darker than my complexion, but that's how I like my BB cream or my foundation, because at least it gives me a little subtle tan. And since I'm not tanning, I like to have the impression that I tan. You get me? I can't stop raving about it. I've been posting on my stories like 4 times about it, I think. And every time I post, there's one girl that always comments, "Girl, your skin is like so pretty." And I'm like, you know that every time you comment that, it's because I'm wearing the BB cream. So on the days when I want to get pretty, you know, I want to get glammed up, I want to get like almost a full face, but I don't want to wear any foundation, I'm gonna reach for this BB cream. And it's just so pretty. Like, it just looks like skin but better. It's formulated for sensitive skin and to be rosacea friendly. So basically it helps reduce the redness. And you're gonna see in the clip, I pretty much have a red nose the whole video because I was putting on sunscreen, then removing it, then putting another one, then removing it, then putting it. It was just awful. My skin was getting red. It's not because of the sunscreens or whatever. It's because I've been touching my face so many times. And you can see that just a little bit of the BB cream calmed my redness and just made my nose look kind of like the same skin tone as my face. That was kind of impressive. I would say though, I would not wear this as a daily sunscreen because it's only an SPF 30, and as I mentioned, I kind of always advise people to get an SPF 50 because we never really wear the amount of sunscreen we're supposed to wear. Let's just say that, okay? Even if you're trying, you have to reapply every 2 to 3 hours. You have to apply water to half a teaspoon. You never really get to the SPF 50, but you can try, okay? You can try, and the more you put, you're gonna reach it. But SPF 30, first of all, is the bare minimum. For darker skin tones, it's okay, but even for them, I kind of advise to get an SPF 50. Typically, what I do is I wear sunscreen underneath. So I wear like 1 finger worth or 2 finger worth of sunscreen underneath, and then I'm gonna apply like 1 finger worth of this BB cream over my sunscreen so that I really get a lot of protection, and I'm at least compensating for what I didn't apply enough of my previous sunscreen. So like I'm adding a little SPF to the sunscreen that I applied. Am I being clear? It really evens out your skin tone, reduces the redness, and hydrates your skin. Like it does. It is kind of leaving a matte finish, but at the same time I feel hydrated. Like, look, I'm glowing. I don't look like matte, you know? So I really like this BB cream. It's kind of a velvety finish. That's why I'm saying it's like your skin but better. And it's got a new packaging now, so don't be surprised. It's looking kind of beige now, which I like more, and I'm kind of jealous that they didn't send me this packaging, but I won't hold them accountable. I'll let that slide for once. Just playing. Also, clinical studies said that 100% of users noticed that their complexion got even. It's clinically proven. It's time to get your hands on it. All right, so finally we have 2 sunscreens. So I'm gonna do the 5th and 6th together because they're both from Eucerin. So there's the oil control and the pigment control. I'm shocked that Eucerin has that good of sunscreens because I've never actually tried Eucerin, even though that's a European brand. It's German, to be precise. You know, it's close to me, it's close to the house, close to home. I've been seeing Eucerin ever since I was a kid, and I never got to try their products, but It was actually a follower of mine that recommended this to me, and she was from the Netherlands. Both of them are really good. There's differences, but first of all, let's talk about the similarities, okay? So they both have an SPF 50 plus rating. They both offer a broad spectrum protection, so as we mentioned, UVAs plus UVBs. They're reef safe according to the Hawaii law, and they're non-comedogenic, they're non-sticky, non-greasy. They're really good primers, like good to apply under your makeup. They both have a light texture and absorb super quick. You're gonna see in the application demonstrations. However, they differ in that the pigment control one has a fragrance and the oil control one doesn't. I'm not mad at the pigment control. I'm not mad at it, okay? I mean, it's a product. I'm not mad about it because there's just one fragrance ingredient, the very last ingredient in the ingredient list, meaning it's a very low concentration, and also it's not that present, not that powerful when you smell it. Honestly, it's fine. And the rest of my skincare, like my whole skincare vanity, is just not fragranced. So if I have one fragranced product, honestly, it's not gonna kill me and it's not gonna kill you either. But if you know you have a sensitive reaction to fragrance in general, maybe not go for the pigment control sunscreen. Just so you know. You notice that all the other options are fragrance free. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura. They have different side benefits. The oil control one basically is more targeted for oily, acne prone skins, blemish prone skins. It's gonna control your oil levels, get your sebum in check. It's made possible with the L-carnitine, I pronounced it right, carnitine, and 3 mattifying pigments. This is what keeps your sebum oils in control. The absorption is really super impressive because it's basically a matte texture and it's gonna keep being matte the whole day. Maybe not the whole day, but like for a lot of hours. It's really impressive because it's really absorbing in a few seconds. There's no white cast whatsoever. I think it's even quicker than the Purito one. You don't even have to work it in. It's really just so easy. And this is because the texture is a gel cream, so that's what makes it so light and easily penetrating. The pigment control though, it's more targeting hyperpigmentation. Basically, hyperpigmentation, you can get it from acne scars, you can get it from the sun, you can get it from aging. This is called dark spots, sunspots, whatever, acne scars, PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So yeah, you can get different types of hyperpigmentation, and basically the pigment control is targeting that on top of protecting your skin from the sun. And to do that, they formulated it with thiamidol that acts at the root of hyperpigmentation to fight it and to prevent it over time. Like, it's not only preventing the sun from creating sunspots, which means basically the role of sunscreen, you know, it's also treating your current hyperpigmentation that you have over time. And they made another clinical study, as I'm not going to tell you a lot of data, but basically a lot of women, like 98 or 99%, saw that over time the sunscreen was curing their hyperpigmentation. It was fading away just by using a sunscreen. Like, so I love that kind of sunscreen that is not only preventing and protecting your skin from UV damaging, it's also treating your skin. Like, it's a treatment almost. Kind of like the ZitSticka one. That's what I love about a sunscreen, when it can bring so much to you. The pigment control sunscreen also protects your skin from the infrared light, also called the blue light. So all the lights that are coming from the screens, the phone, the laptop, all of that. This type of light has UVAs. Okay, it gives UVAs, it doesn't give UVBs. So basically you cannot get sunburnt because it's not the sun. You cannot get burns from blue lights. You can get signs of aging, UVA. But honestly, it's been tested, it's not that big of a deal. Like, apparently you cannot really age from just looking at a screen. But I mean, the more you can get, huh? I'ma get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say that's my first argument of purchase. I would say that it fights hyperpigmentation, but that is a bonus. It's good to know. They both do not sting the eyes. They both are pretty matte finish. I would say the oil control definitely is matter, and the pigment control has a light, like, moisturizing effect. So yeah, they're both really good options too. So I'm not sure if you can find these in your country. I checked on the US website of Eucerin and they were not here at all. I checked on the international website and they had like an oil control SPF 30, an oil control SPF 50 plus, just like mine, but with tint. So there was like light tint and medium tint, and they had no pigment control. So I don't know, maybe check your country's website, see if they have it. I've made 7 trips to pharmacies, to 7 different pharmacies to find these sunscreens. The pharmacies really just straight up told me it's winter, it's not really the time for sunscreen, so we didn't really stock up on that. We're just selling out our inventory. Basically, that's why you can't find anything anywhere. That was so hard to find. Here's the French word of the day: crème solaire. Crème solaire. Crème solaire, meaning sunscreen, or more literally, sun cream. Crème is cream. Sun cream, as British people would call it. That's it. That's all I have for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my other socials like Instagram and TikTok. I am posting more regularly on these platforms. And I made a mega shade sunscreen reel on Instagram, so make sure you check it out and show it some love. I would highly appreciate it. Have a blessed week, guys. Love you. Bisous.